أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين اللهم يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا آمين يا رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Okay, alhamdulillah. Today is our inshallah the 6th session. Okay, so I will, as usual, in every class we do the review of the previous class. So inshallah, sorry. So no, this is the last class. Okay, so everybody's ready for the question and answers. This is basically actually, I'm preparing you for the quiz, for the written quiz. So if you are paying attention, if you're focused throughout the class, you don't have to, study separately for a long time. Because if you're just reviewing every week with me and focusing in the class, then it will be inshallah easier for you. Inshallah. Okay. I'll just check the messages here. It's okay. Don't worry, dear. It's okay. Okay, so let's review the previous class, inshallah. Okay, the first question is, how many articulation points in al-lisan and how many letters come from these places? Okay. Yes, 10, mashallah. Barakallahu feek. Yes, 10 articulation points and 18 letters. Alhamdulillah. Okay, how many areas the tongue is divided into? Remember last time we studied this part? And what are those places? What are those? Anybody wants to? Yeah, alhamdulillah, all of you know, mashallah. Yeah, 4 areas that we divide the tongue into. And what are the names? Arabic or English, whatever, it's okay. So half full, top full, edge, tip, full. Okay, you're all mixed up. Yeah, someone. Okay, some of you are giving in English, some of you are giving in Arabic. Yes, alhamdulillah. Yes, yeah, there are 4 parts. Alhamdulillah. The deepest part of the tongue, the back part, the deepest part of the tongue, that is aqsal lisan, and then the middle part, that is wastul lisan, the edges or the sides of the tongue, that is hafatul lisan, and then the tip of the tongue, that is tarful lisan. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, alhamdulillah. So what is the articulation point of qaf and kaf? Easy. Which is the articulation point of qaf and kaf? The deepest part. Yes, alhamdulillah. Zaida, mashallah, barakallah fi. Okay, which letters we say? Okay, listen this one carefully. I like this one. Which letters we say when tip of the tongue touches the edges of the top 2 teeth, the top 2 incisors? When the tip of the tongue touches the edges of the top 2 teeth, what letters we say? Quickly say. Ta, dal, ta. Are you sure? Sister Zaida, Mishal, Mr. Mehjabin. Sister Mehjabin is right. It's not ta, dal, ta. It's ta, zal, and la. Yes. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yes. Yeah, remember the tip of the tongue out letters? We take out the tip of the tongue little bit out of the edges of the top 2 teeth. These are called huruful lithwiya. We take out the tip little bit of the tongue. fa, val, and ra. Let me show you the slide. This one. It's okay, Sister Zaida. Yeah, I know. It's sometimes, yeah, it's very confusing. But inshallah, as with practice, inshallah, we'll make it. Inshallah. So this one, see this slide? The tip of the tongue touches the edge of the top two teeth, the incisors. Okay, these are called huruful lifia. The fa, val, and dha. Okay. And which letters come out when the tip of the tongue touches the gum line of the top two teeth? The top two incisors. When the tip of the tongue touches the back, little back. Yes, Sister Majmin, yeah. Alhamdulillah. Ta, dal, and ta. This one. Okay, and these are, what are these called? My next question is, what are these letters called? Sorry. Anybody remember? It's hard. Yeah, nut'iyya. Yes. Barakallah feek, Sister Salma. Hurufun nut'iyya. This one, let me show you. An-nut'iyya. Okay? Don't worry, you don't have to memorize. If you can, then it's good. It's very good. You're learning Arabic words. But if can't, then it's fine. Because our purpose, our goal is that we correct our recitation. We know the proper makharij of Tajweed, inshallah. Okay? So alhamdulillah, last time we did. So just let's quickly put the earlier name. Which one, Sister Mahajabin? The tongue out letters. This one, alifia, huruful lifia, fa. These are fa, val, and dha. And then the last one we learned is huruful nut'iyya, the ta, dal, and ta. Lifia, yeah. It's not the sound of S, like, because the whistle comes in the S. But because since we're taking out the tip of the tongue, so we are blocking the air. We are blocking the air and the sound. So it's kind of fa. It's a blocked sound comes. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so let's move on. Just quickly, I will remind you that we have done the makharij, like there are 5 major areas. All of you remember 5 major areas that we use for all the articulation points. Al-halaq, the throat, al-jawf, the empty part of the mouth, and we did these 2, and then we did al-khayshum, the nasal passage, and we did also al-shafatan, the lips. So 4 of the parts, the major parts, we have done already, alhamdulillah, and we are doing the last one, al-lisan, because I left it for at the end because it has the most articulation points and the most letters. So alhamdulillah, we have done so far. We did, as we have discussed earlier, the tongue has been divided into 4 parts, and we did one of the part, that is the deepest part of the tongue, aqsal lisan, and kaf and qaf comes out from that part. Now we are doing the tip of the tongue. Okay? Before we move on, I want to show you this picture. Very interesting picture I found, because I wanted to tell you about the teeth. What are the teeth called in Arabic, and how they describe. We are done tip. No, not Sister Hajabin. We are not done yet, because the tip has 5 makharij. Okay, the tip has 5 makharij. Subhanallah. And let me show you this picture again. Let me finish talking about the teeth, and then I'll show you again this picture, about the makharij of more makharij in the tip of the tongue. Okay, so just it's very important that we know the teeth, how this alhamdulillah, we all know about our teeth, but we don't study in depth about those. Generally, we think that okay, it's the job of the dentist, so they know all the typical names of the teeth. But just as you can see in the picture, because oftentimes when we are going to describe the articulation points, we are going to use these terms: the incisors, the lateral incisors, the canines or the premolars. Okay, so these ones we are going, and you can see here the picture of the upper jaw and the lower jaw, and you can see this PowerPoint, this slide on the website. Okay, so you don't worry about that. So inshallah, so the incisors, the front on the upper jaw, the two teeth, the front incisors, they are called fanaya. Okay, the fa, and they are basically four: two on the top upper jaw and two on the lower jaw. You can see the green highlighted part. Same like that, there are incisors, the lateral incisors, the front incisors, and the lateral incisors. They are also four. They are called rubaiyat. Okay, rubai is one. Ruba is one. Just like you remember, it's a term when we read the Quran in the juz, in one separa or one juz. It's a term. So same like here. So there are four lateral incisors. Two here, the red ones, just right beside the front incisors, and two on the lower jaw. Just the reason I'm showing you this picture, I don't want to confuse you, but in the later articulation points, we are going to use these terms. So that's why I want you to just look at this picture. Okay, and inshallah, when we practice, then you will get the idea which part of the tongue is touching which tooth or behind the tooth. Or okay, so is it okay? I'm not going to go in very depth of these teeth thing, all that thing, because then you will get confused. Just wanted to show this picture, so later for a reference you can look at it, inshallah. Okay. Okay, so now let's finish the tip of the tongue. But before, I want to show you this chart I made in the beginning, this one. So the tongue is divided into four parts. Well, just what you have answered my question. Okay, you can see, all of you can see the slide. So we have finished this part, this one, the aqsal lisan. It has two makharij, qaf and kaf. So this one is done. Okay, and then now we are doing tarful lisan, the tip of the tongue. And you, as I told you in the beginning, when we started the tip of the tongue, it has 5 makharij and 11 letters. Okay, the tip of the tongue consists of 5 makharij, 5 articulation points, and 11 letters come out from those places. Okay, subhanallah, just a small tip of our tongue, and we say all these letters, these ones at the bottom. So in the last class, we learned about these huruful lifwiya and this one, huruful an-nut'iyya. Now today we are going to finish these ones. Okay? Okay, Sister Mahjabeen, is it clear? Yeah, so today we are going to finish the tip of the tongue, and we are going to learn about the sides or the edges of the tongue, the hafatul lisan, inshallah. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So after the ta, dal, and ta, okay. So the next one from the tip of the tongue, the 2 letters I'm going to tell you now, not very in detail, but just briefly we are going to talk about it, because once inshallah we will practice the surah, then it is important that we say these letters properly from the proper place, and that's how we are going to practice, inshallah. So the letter noon and letter ra. Okay, the letter noon, what is the makhraj of that letter? The articulation point of that letter is the tip of the tongue, and opposite to it is the gums. It touches the gums of the top 2 front incisors. It's very, very close to the other one, the ta, dal, and ta, but don't get mixed up. That one, for the ta, dal, and ta, it touches the gum line. Our tip touches the gum line, but here it's little different, just slightly behind, because here it is touching the gums of the front incisors. Okay, that's how you can make a difference, or you can differentiate it. I wrote here lam as well, but inshallah later we will learn about the lam, because all those makharij, they are very, very intact. They are very close to each other. Okay, so don't get mixed up, because remember, just keep in your mind, just imagine when we learned the ta, dal and ta, that place, that for that articulation point, tip of the tongue was touching the gum line of the incisors, the front incisors. But in this one, letter noon, the tip of the tongue is touching the gums of the front incisors, not the line, just not at the bottom. It's basically touching the gums. And later, inshallah, as we go forward, it will be clear, inshallah. If you're getting mixed up right now, don't worry about that. Inshallah, Allah will make it easy for us, inshallah, for all of us. Now the letter ra. Okay, so ra, we say it heavy. It's the later, inshallah, we will learn about the sifat as well. The makharij is the place where we say the letter, and sifat is the characteristic of the letter. So it is, ra is a heavy letter. Okay, kind of a, because once inshallah we are learning the rules, we will learn that when the ra has a fatha or dhamma, then we make it heavy. When it has a kasra, we do not make it heavy. So it's in like built-in, just like I told you before, that the noon and the meme has a built-in gunna in it. Just like that, the ra is built-in heaviness in that. Okay. Okay. So what is the makhraj of ra? The articulation point is that from the tip of the tongue and the top of the tip. So in this one, see, listen very carefully. Two things are involved: the tip of the tongue and also the top of the tip. And it's touching, not only our tip is touching, but the top of the tip is also touching the opposite part, the gums of the front incisors. So you see the difference? Is it clear now for all of you? In the letter noon, the tip of the tongue is touching the gums of the top two front incisors. And in the letter ra, the tip of the tongue as well as the top of the top part of the tip is touching the opposite, that is the gums of the top two front incisors. Okay. So both of these two makharij are very close to each other. I hope you're not getting mixed up, inshallah. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next makhraj. Now these three letters, Sad, Za and Sin. We also call it Zai. Some places you will see that some people, they call it Zai, but that's fine. Don't get mixed up that what letter is this. So usually we call it Za. A little whistling sound comes. This is the sifat, the characteristic of these three letters. That is why they are called al-huruf al-safiriya. Safiriya, because there is a whistle coming out of these three letters. Za, like a buzzing sound, z, and then the Sin and Sad. Okay, and what is the makhraj of these three letters? These are articulated from between the tip of the tongue and between the plates of the top two incisors, slightly above the lower incisors. Okay, a small space is left between the tongue and the incisors when pronouncing them. Try to say these letters. Za, za. When you're saying, you will feel that a small space, slight space is left between the tongue and the incisors. You're not completely touching the incisors. Sa, sa. Try that method. What I told you to write how to find out the right makhraj of a letter. Anybody remembers how to find the right makhraj or the correct articulation point of a letter? Anyone remembers that? What do we do? Sukoon and Hamza, yes, alhamdulillah. So just do the same thing. If you're getting mixed up or you're confused, then put a sukoon on the sin or za or sad, and before put a fatha or any haraka on the Hamza, and then say that letter. For suppose the letter sin, put a fatha on the Hamza and sukoon on the sin and say as, as, as. Say that letter and feel where your tongue is setting. Same like the za, za, az, az, sad, af, af. So did you notice that the whistle is coming in all these three letters? And also, again, I'm repeating the articulation point of that these letters. Tip makes kind of a U shape. Yes, exactly. So between the tip of the tongue and the plates of the the top two incisors, and slightly above the lower incisors. So basically both of them we are using here. Okay? We are not touching the lower incisors, but it's slightly above. Just to make it clear for you. So inshallah, when we will practice, then you will know. Okay? Just I want to quickly finish this one so that we can move on to the next set. We are done the tip of the tongue with these ones. Okay, so now our 5 makharij of the tip of the tongue is done and the 11 letters. Okay, everyone okay with that? You got it, everyone? Is there any question? Want to ask anything? Because after this, inshallah, we will practice the surah and then we will start a new dua as well. Remember, I told you last class that we will start a new dua and start memorizing the new dua, and we will practice a surah as well. So, okay, alhamdulillah, no questions. So let's move on to the the fourth part of the the third part of the tongue. That is the side or the edges of the tongue. Which part, like for suppose here, see this slide, these where my cursor is, look at this, these are all the edges. Okay, these are all the edges. So now this part, how are you going to use it? Okay, let me show, yeah, this one, look at this one. These are all the sides, or not just the corners, but this top part as well. So these are the sides, or the hafatul lisan. So the hafatul lisan, we say 2 letters from this place. Okay, first of all, that is the letter dad. This is, by the way, I'm telling you, this is one of the most difficult articulation point. It's for Arabs and non-Arabs. Both, all kind of people, they find it very hard to say this letter dad. And how we say it, it's not very complicated. Once we get the hang of it, like you're getting used to of it, then it's very easy, inshallah. So it is articulated from one of the sides. Either you can use one side or one edge of the side, or you can use both sides. Okay, sometimes I've heard people saying that only one side you have to use, so then people find it very difficult to twist. They're twisting the tongue kind of, but no, that's not right. You can use either one side of the tongue or you can use both sides at the same time. This is what I've mentioned here. So it is articulated from one of the sides or edges of the tongue, and what lies opposite to it, what is that? The upper molars, left and right, both sides, or left or right, upper molars. I've shown you the picture here, the molars, these ones. Sorry. Oops. So these ones, okay? So your tongue is basically the side of your tongue is touching the upper molars, either right side or left side, or if you find it comfortable, you touch both of your sides. It's like making a dip in your, like, the middle part of your tongue is going down and your corners of your tongue is going up. They're touching the molars. Okay? When you say bod, try saying that letter, bod. Don't make the round lips. For the heavy letters, we do not make round lips. Just make the heaviness inside of your mouth. Bod. Bod. I'll try that sukoon method. Put a fatha on the hamza and sukoon on the dod. Al, dod, dod. Either you can touch one side or you can use both of the edges. Okay? This is very difficult, but with the practice, alhamdulillah, it becomes easy. Now we move to the next step, that letter lam. Letter lam, the articulation point is from the nearest part of the sides of the tongue. So in this one, listen carefully. It's not like the letter dod. Okay? The nearest part of the sides of the tongue and like nearest to the mouth. It's close to the mouth and the end of its tip. So both places you are using. The side of the tongue that is close to your mouth and the end part of the tip. Not the very like end of your tip, is close to the end. That part you are using to touch on the opposite side. That is the gums of the premolars. On the top jaw, on your upper jaw, behind the upper molars, the two upper molars, you are touching the gums with your tongue, the side of the tongue, and also the tip of the tongue. Two things you're using here. Okay, the upper molars, basically your tongue is making a curve like a flat thing, like a spatula. Like a spatula is touching the upper molars, the premolars, the canines, the pointy teeth, and the lateral incisors and the front incisors. So basically it's in a spatula position, like flat, and it's touching how many teeth? 8 teeth. Okay, look at this picture. Here, look at. So for suppose here your tongue is, there is your tongue, and it's touching the back, the gums of, with the edges, it's touching the gums of all these teeth. Okay, the incisors, the lateral incisors, the canines, the premolars. Okay, look at this one. Okay, is it clear? Any questions? Should I show you this picture again? So the premolars, the canines, the lateral incisors, and the front incisors. These ones. So in this round circle position, your tongue, tip, and the edges are touching. Clearer with the picture? This picture, Sister Zahida? Or which picture? I couldn't find, just like in the previous one, I show you the different pictures. I couldn't find an appropriate, like a proper picture of the each and every makharij. Let me show you the tongue. Here, look at this picture. This is the tip of the tongue, okay? And these are your edges. These are the edges, the sides of the tongue. So for the letter lam, first try that sukoon method. Put the sukoon on the lam and the fatha before it on the alif. Al. Now keep your tongue there and notice which part, like what teeth, the back of the teeth your tongue is. The top 2 teeth and then the canines. Excuse me. The canines and the molars. Okay, so the 8 teeth, basically the tip, the top portion of your tip, and the edges, all of them in a curved position, they are touching the top portion, the gums of all these 8 teeth. You mean all of the edges touches these teeth? Not the all of the edges, just like remember for the letter Dod, you're touching either one side, right side, or the left side, or both sides you're using Dod. So all you're lifting your tongue, and all the edges are touching the teeth up. But that is for the letter Dod. But for the letter Lam, like say Al. So you must have noticed that the edges of the tongue and the tip of the tongue, all of it is touching the gums behind these 8 teeth. Let me show you this picture again. I know it's a little confusing, but inshallah it will be easy. So just assume that your tongue is here, okay? And your tongue is here, and this is the edges, and this is the tip. All of you can see my cursor, where my cursor is. The arrow is pointing. Yeah. So this is the tip of your tongue, and these are the edges. Okay. And these 8 teeth I'm talking about is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. These up till this light blue color. Okay. So that, technically speaking, this is the way our tongue should touch when we say letter Lam. If we are doing quickly, or we are not, if we are taking out the tongue, or we are not touching these places properly, it means we are using the wrong makhraj. Okay, this is what I'm talking, because letter Lam is very, very, like all the letters, alhamdulillah, we use all the letters, but it's like in the name of Allah, we say it very quickly, Allah, Allah, just say that, Allah. When you, just for maybe for a half of a second or 1 second, you keep your tongue there when you say Allah, and then you notice if your tongue is properly going to that makhraj or not. I hope all of you got that. So your tip of the tongue and the edges of your tongue is touching this portion. The gums of these, the front incisors, the lateral incisors, the canines, and the premolars. These 8 teeth. Okay? I hope it's good now. No, not the teeth. Not the teeth. Behind the teeth. You're not touching the teeth. Yes, Sister Hadia? Not the actual teeth. You're not touching the actual teeth. Then it will make a different sound. Completely different sound. It's not a gum line. It's like basically, yeah, you're touching the gum, or you can say the gum line or the gums. All of these, subhanallah, these small tongue and then small tip, and so many different makharij in just a small tongue. So it's very sometimes hard to distinguish, but inshallah, bi'idhnillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us, all of us, to understand the proper makharij. Inshallah, we all are struggling, we all are, trying and striving to learn, to find out how to say the proper letters. Alhamdulillah, this is just the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we are learning the proper makharij. Alhamdulillah, and inshallah He will give us the tawfiq, and He will accept it from us, inshallah. So now with this we are done the edges or the side of the tongue. Okay. Yeah, read this part I have mentioned here. The front edges of the tongue is for the Lam, but for the Dod, as I mentioned before, that actually we lift the tongue. We use the back, the posterior edges of the tongue. Okay, I think Sister Zahida asked, or somebody asked. So for the Lam, we use the front edges with the tip, but for the Dod, we use the posterior edges, the back edges. Okay. This picture I found, so I just copied it for you guys. Inshallah. Look at this, our tongue. They make it shaped like a heart, but it's not, actual tongue is not like that. But just to make all of you understand, then with the tip of the tongue, we say all these letters. Basically, this picture, I shouldn't have shown you this one. You will get mixed up. But as I liked it, so I just copied it. These letters from the tip of the tongue, and also I told you the the noon and the ra. They are showing the lam with it as well, because as I told you, they are very close to each other. For the lam, we use the tip with the edges. So basically, the makhraj is the edges, sides of the tongue. But since we are bringing it so close to the gums, that the tip also get involved in that. But the noon and ra is for the tip of the tongue, and lam and dad is for the side of the tongues. Okay? Is it clear to everybody? Any questions? Just one makhraj is left. We have very less time. I want to quickly finish this makhraj part, and inshallah in the next class we will finish the makharij, and the wastul lisan we will do in the next class, inshallah. Okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Okay, now today, inshallah, we are going to read this surah. Okay? It has more or less all the letters we have done so far. It has a dad as well, it has a za, and the fa, and the sin. Okay? So, is there a sin? Okay. And also, the dua. Okay, I'm sure now you can see. Can you see the dua now? This dua. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay. So this is the dua, inshallah, next dua that we are going to practice and we are going to memorize, inshallah. According to hadith that Abu Salama bin Abd al-Rahman bin Al-Auf said, I asked Aisha radiallahu anha by what words the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to begin his prayer when he stood up at night, means the Tahajjud prayer. She said, when he stood up at night, he began his prayer by saying this dua. Remember the last one we memorized? Allahumma ba'id bayni wa bayna khatayaya kama ba'adta bayna al-mashriqi wal-maghrib. All of you memorized that dua? I'm hoping that all of you have memorized, those who were in the class with me in the last few classes. I think Mishal was Sister Tanzila, Mishal, and Sister Mahjabeen Sister Zaida was there. So you have Sister Salma, you have Sister Mahjabeen. Okay, please try to say it, read it several times, and then memorize, and keep the meaning in your mind. Remember, I told you, when you have the meaning in your mind, then it's very, very easy to memorize the dua. Still practicing, inshallah. Inshallah, may Allah help us. May Allah help you, all of you, inshallah. Not full, okay. Okay, never mind, inshallah. But remember, we have the test coming up for the dua. So you have to quickly memorize it, because then we have to. Should we start the new dua today? This one? It's a beautiful dua. Let me read it one time. And the translation, Allahumma Rabba Jibreel wa Mikaeel wa Israfil, Fatir as-samawati wal ard, Alim al-ghaybi wa shahada, Anta tahkumu bayna ibadaka fima kanu fihi yakhtalifun, Ihdini lima ikhtalafa fihi min al-haqqi bi'idhnik, Innaka tahdi man tasha'u ila siratin mustaqim. O Allah, Lord of Jibreel, Lord of Mikael, and Lord of Israfil, Creator of the heavens and the earth, the knower of what is seen and of what is unseen, you decide between your servants in which they used to differ. Guide me to the truth where there is a difference of opinion by your permission. You guide anyone you wishes to the right path. This is a hadith from Sahih Muslim. So this dua, Prophet ﷺ used to recite in the beginning of the Tahajjud prayer. And also it is said that if somebody is going through a trial, like if you have a confusion, if you have difference of opinion, can't decide, then also you can say this dua. Okay, so this is a beautiful dua. If you want, I can we can start today or maybe next time. Just it's up to you, because I want all of you to memorize the previous dua as well. If you haven't memorized that one, then memorize that one please first, because probably next week you will have a test for that dua. So should I give you time for that dua? Okay, jazakallah. Okay, no problem. Wayyaki, inshallah. Okay, so then just leave this one for today, like for next time, inshallah, and let's just recite our surah, inshallah. But please make sure that you memorize this dua, the last one. Okay. You will, Shahadia, when you go on the website, the one I showed you before in the beginning of the class, you will find all these du'as, including this one and the other one. All these du'as you will find. Just a second, I will show you the other one as well. Yeah, so inshallah you will just try on the website, Dua website, and then you will find all the du'as there. Okay. Okay. So can you see this dua as well? Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk. All of you can see this dua? Yeah, you don't have to Google, like you don't have Dua Institute website, and then the one I showed you from the courses, and then or maybe on the main page you will find all the duas, inshallah. Okay, so then inshallah we will start memorizing from next class, but please finish the okay, Sister Mahjabeen. Okay, we are just going to practice Suratul Qariya. We have 6 minutes, inshallah. Oh, okay, somebody's mic is open. Should I close my mic? Okay, this one, Sister Miss. Just quickly, I want tell you that this dua, this is most of the people they recite this dua after the takbir in the salah. Subhanaka Allahumma. So I want all of you to read with me, or just listen to me how I'm reading it, because people make mistake when they say this dua. They say Subhanaka Allahumma. They skip the ha. Yeah, this one. So when you read every day in 5 salahs, when you read the dua, this one, until unless you memorize the Allahumma ba'id, that one dua, up till that time before you start reading that dua, if you're reading this one, make sure that you are saying it right. Okay, since we are learning makharij, then we should not miss any haraka or any proper makhraj or any letter. Say Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruka. Okay, just like this. So this is what I wanted to put emphasis on this one. Sister Hadia, you can see. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, now I'm going to just where is that? Okay, now this Suratul Qariya. We have very less time, but inshallah we'll try to read it quickly. And which one? Somebody's here. Subhanaka Allahumma. That one? Yeah, the Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk. This one. Can you see now? Oh. Yes. Okay, now can you see the screen, sister? Yeah. So read like this. I will read one more time. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka وَلَا إِلَهَ غَيْرُكَ. Okay, this is the dua. Just read in this manner. Read slowly, slowly. Put emphasis on every part and then say the dua. And keep the meaning in mind. This is very, very important because we develop the khushu only when we know the meaning. We know what we are saying, what we are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so now quickly we will read the Surah Al-Qari'ah. I will read one time for you, and we have just 2 minutes left. Sorry, just getting delayed. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. القارعة. ما القارعة؟ وما أدراك ما القارعة؟ يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش فأما من ثقلت موازينه فهو في عيشة راضية وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية وما أدراك ما هي نار حامية. Okay, I'm sure all of you are listening. So we have to practice like that, inshallah. Okay, when you say the qaf, remember that it's coming from the deepest part of the tongue. Qaf, al-qari'ah, ayn. We have to go in the middle part, the middle of our throat. And then when you start stopping, the ha sound should come. Al-qari'ah. Okay? Mal-qari'ah. The ha should come. Anybody wants to recite it? I will. Okay. Just inshallah, if anybody wants to leave, then please do so. If you have to do something, but if anyone wants to participate and say the dua, say the, you click on that button, click on it, the Q&A button, and then I can see and I will open your mic, inshallah. Yes, Sister Mishal. Yeah, we have memorized only one dua so far. Allahumma ba'id bayni wa bayna khataya. That one. Okay, so that one dua test will be on that one. And next time after this dua, next week you will have the test. But first we will make the WhatsApp group and we will send you the detail for that. And then next time I will take a test on the Subhanak Allahumma, and also the next dua we are going to memorize in the next class, inshallah. Okay. So, sister, you want to read the surah? Please go ahead. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Al-Qari'ah. Mal-Qari'ah. وما أدراك ما القارعة يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث وتكون الجبال كالعنقود فأما من ثقلت موازينه فهو في عيشة راضية وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية وما أدراك ما هي نار حامية.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Barakallah feekum, sister. Okay, let me tell you a few things quickly. Just the ayn, make the ayn clear. Al-Qari'ah. Okay, when you slowly go on each makhraj, don't go very fast. The tip of reading properly is that read slowly, tarteel. Okay, you know what is tarteel? Read slowly. So then you will be able to touch each makhraj properly. Al-Qari'ah. Okay, and make the ra heavy. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِعَةُ. Okay, and then another mistake you do, فَأَمَّا ma is two count. فَأَمَّا مَنْ, it's not amma man, it's فَأَمَّا مَنْ. Same in the ayah number 6 and ayah number 8. You read good, mashallah. Your voice is beautiful, mashallah. Just because we are reciting to somebody, so that's why I think sometimes we get, nervous and we read fast. Otherwise, you're reading good, mashallah. Just focus on the major things. Okay?
Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah. Barakallahu feekum. So no more hands raised now. So inshallah, okay, we'll just quickly finish our session. We'll make dua and then we end up here, and then please kindly prepare for the test. Inshallah, go through the notes, and then next week I will announce, inshallah, I will let you know when is the written test, and for the oral test, please be prepared, inshallah. Okay, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر جزاك الله خيرا كثيرا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.